What's going on tonight?
Tonight, we have two events happening at the same time. We've got a watch party for the State of the Union happening in 30 minutes.
Wow, so soon.
And then we also, at 6 o'clock, have the launch of the Green New Deal.
Oh my goodness, is that all those people?
I just thought it was strange that there were so many places in San Francisco to watch a sports game. But if you wanted to end the day and participate in democracy, in our civic life, to meet the people who are trying to fix the problems in our politics, there wasn't a place that offered that kind of programming consistently.
Bringing people together in the flesh to see each other, to understand each other, to have conversation is the way that you build across differences.
I thought, what would it look like to create a space that answered this question, where do you go to become a better citizen?
He definitely envisioned a space where people could bring topics that need to be discussed and that are affecting society as a whole.
That space, the community, coffee, food, politics space is what we've lost in the last couple decades and what I'm trying to rebuild here at Manny's.
When Manny first explained the concept to me, I wasn't totally sold that it would work or that it would succeed, because it was something unique and different, and you just have no idea whether that's going to fly.
And so I spent 18 months before we opened, literally pounding the pavement, walking door to door in the mission, talking to activists, leaders, community folks about what my plan was, getting their advice and their buy-in and their interest.
Every step of the way in creating Manny's Place, he made sure that the community was totally engaged and giving feedback, getting what it needed.
And he did crazy things that are not business logical.
We decided right in the middle of the first year to start a Pay It Forward program with our coffee, where we give free tea and coffee to anyone from the community who needs it.
A cup of coffee and a nourishing meal is at an affordable price so that there's no barrier to entry for anybody.
Manny got broad buy-in from groups that I wasn't sure if they would ever buy in, but they ultimately did. And that was because of who Manny is and how he approaches people in such a deeply respectful way.
I think if you're going to choose to serve the public, which is what we aim to do here at Manny's, you do need to earn the trust of that public and answer questions when it comes to who you are and what you represent.
He has had his detractors and I think dealt with really difficult issues his first year opening up here.
Because he is proud of his Judaism and of his Israeli background and not shy to speak of it, that's a red button issue right there.
He was targeted for protests for his stance on Zionism.
I saw that as the first test in how I and this space actually respond to people who have questions and concerns about what we're trying to do.
A tiny, unrepresentative minority attacked Manny in very, very anti-Semitic ways.
Free Palestine!
What surprised me was the claim that I was promoting advocacy around the issue of Israel and Palestine before I had even really started my business.
I told him, I don't know enough of the issue to either support either side, but I do want you to be safe. I want your customers to be safe, and I want all parties involved in this dispute or dialogue or difference of opinions to be safe. And I'm from the neighborhood, so I brought a lot of people that are stakeholders in the neighborhood and said, look, we're kind of started like the UN here.
I'm proud of the way we responded to the protesters. I never treated anyone in a way that wasn't menschy, but also I never compromised my values.
He brought all of the oppositional voices in so that he could show them that there was nothing to fear and that they may disagree with this or that, but in fact probably agreed more than they realized they agreed.
Manny is a class act, and he doesn't get down into the mud pit with people who are trying to drag him down.
He never was mean. He was never rude.
My goal was to treat the people who protested us and boycotted us with immense amounts of respect, understanding, patience, but also strength.
Manny is an eternal optimist, and he never tired of looking for solutions that would be very much a manifestation of what Manny's Place believes in.
It was the sessions that I had with Abby, the coffees, the text messages, the phone calls, the shoulders to cry on of Abby and the rest of the Jewish community that allowed me to navigate the very delicate waters that I had to traverse in the last year.
JCRC was really proud to mobilize the Jewish community to double down on our support of Manny's Place. Here is this young, gay, Jewish, proud entrepreneur who needed our support in doing the work that he was doing for the public good.
The work of JCRC is very similar in its desire to bridge divides, bring people together, learn, grow, and represent the best of Jewish tradition of fighting injustice.
JCRC was able to give me the advice that I needed and the support and the love that I needed. I couldn't have made it through the last year and a half without them. Full stop.
Manny's right here at 16th and Valencia may look like any other restaurant in this neighborhood, but tonight, Beto O'Rourke.
Manny is a genius at curating the content of what happens in this space. Everything from, environmental issues, civil rights, voting rights, education, gender, everything has come through Manny's.
It feels good to actually sit there and listen to two people or three people or a panel have a conversation and then engage with them to understand a situation that's happening.
How was your experience at Manny's tonight, Senator Klobuchar?
It couldn't have been better.
So many presidential candidates wanted to come through Manny's to talk to the community here, and that speaks volumes about what Manny has created here.
He brought Julian Castro, a Latino presidential candidate, to the mission. That's something that we've never had in the mission. And Manny brought that to us.
Our diversity is our strength.
Our programming is so diverse. And yes, we've had some well-known folks in politics, but we've also had hundreds of programs on every topic you can imagine. From LGBT rights, criminal justice reform, the arts, women's reproductive health, gun control. On Friday, we had the most amazing spoken word night. Last night, we had a flamenco show. We have a monthly flamenco show.
He pulled off that miraculous reading of the Mueller report, where we read it in 24 hours, I think, from cover to cover.
And folks who are interested in learning more about these movements, who are ready to be inspired by the people leading these movements, have come into my small business and have gotten what they've looked for.
People just felt welcome here. It's warm, it's inviting, it's a fun place to be. I was also impressed by the wide range of people, women, men, people with different gender identities from all walks of life, all ethnicities, and everyone feels welcome.
I'm so proud that Manny is receiving this award because in addition to really being a servant of the public good and proud liberal Zionist and a proud Jew and out there in the community with who he is, above all, he's a total mensch.
No matter where you sit on the political spectrum, he brings value to dialogue and to mutual respect and understanding. And that's all a sign of a true leader.
I have the most amazing job, and I just feel so lucky to be able to do what I do without getting an award. And I feel more than anything grateful to live in a city that believes in the work of this space.